God, give me a piggyback ride. I wanna go high up and touch the sky, where I could breathe in and out of peace. Somebody messing with me. Yeah, give me a piggyback ride. If I had a parachute, I could touch the sky. Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. I am so excited to be with you all today. My goodness, it has been a full day for me of gratitude. So to be able to share space with you all is an absolute gift. And when I tell you the conversation that we're about to have today is going to be on point and right on time, just as everything that we do happens, right? So I would like to officially welcome you all to Byrd Talk Season 3. And for this season, it is all about remembering the parts of ourselves the world is actively trying to silence. If you don't know who I am, it's your girl, Heather Byrd, founder, visionary, and CEO of Bird's World and Bird's World Publishing. And this podcast is a space to reclaim our voice, our bodies, and our brilliance, one conversation at a time. You'll hear us laugh, cry, and ask the hard questions while we hold. Can y'all hear me? Hold on, time out. Are there technical difficulties here? Let me know in the chat if y'all can hear me and if y'all can see me. I just got a notification that something happened, so I just want to make sure that we are all good. Can y'all hear me and see me? I see we got some folks on YouTube. Let me check out YouTube real quick. Yeah, looks like we're live. Looks like we're good. You can hear me and see me. Okay, cool. No, you're all good. Look here. I got a notification that the live had stopped. So I was like, uh-oh, what just happened there? It is so funny. As that was happening, I was like, I should check to see if people can hear me and can see me. So I appreciate y'all. I see y'all in the chat on YouTube. Thank y'all so much for being here. I just wanted to make sure. I wanted to make sure. I'm gonna start the intro over again so y'all have a chance to hear it. What up, E rocking them? I'm so glad you can hear and see us. Thank y'all so much for being here. But like I was saying, welcome to Bird Talk Season 3. And for this season, it really is all about being able to remember the parts of ourselves the world is actively silencing, right? For those of you all who do not know who I am, because there are some folks that have not had the opportunity to meet me just yet. It's your girl, Heather Byrd here, founder, visionary, and CEO of Bird's World and Bird's World Publishing. And this podcast really is a space to reclaim our voice, our bodies, and our brilliance, one conversation at a time. Sometimes you'll hear us laugh. The majority of the times you'll hear us laugh. Sometimes you'll hear us cry. And really, it's about being able to ask the hard questions while we hold space for the real answers, right? So each episode, I will sit down with a member of our Sister Resistor community, and together we are in conversation. There are times where I ask a lot of my writers in order for them to heal, to write, and to build movements. And if I'm going to ask them to show up, I need to make sure that I am making the first move. I've been told that my vulnerability really is my superpower and it's a light. So I'm creating the space to be able to stand in my light and create the path for others to follow. So I am beyond excited to be on this journey with you where we return to who we were before the world got its hands on us. So let's have a conversation. If y'all are excited to be in space with us, let me know in the chat if y'all are ready to really get down and be here with us, right? I am super excited to be in space with y'all. And my goodness, this conversation, y'all got a sneak peek real quick of who's going to be joining us, right? But I want to give a proper introduction to who I'm about to bring to this stage, right? I have had the pleasure of being in community with Temeka since January of 2022. It's like it doesn't seem real that it's almost 4 years. But her and I met in a black business community, and we were on the same team together. Her and her husband Eric, and together they bring so much light to a room. um, Separately, they each have their own lights, and I have had the opportunity of seeing Tamika's light and see her grow over the years, which has been an absolute honor to be a part of this journey with her. So I'm gonna give y'all the official bio, and then we gonna come in here with the real in a second. All right. So if y'all ready for the real, go ahead and type yes in the chat. Let me know that y'all are ready for this real conversation that's about to take place. Um, while I read Tamika's official bio, because there were pieces of this bio, y'all, I was trying to like cut out. Look here, there wasn't much. And what I cut out, I probably shouldn't have. So I want y'all to make sure y'all know who we are bringing to the stage right now, right? So Temeka Thompson is a visionary leader, award-winning realtor, and co-founder of Marriage Takeover, where she and her husband empower couples to break generational cycles, identify emotional triggers, and build marriages that win. A dynamic motivator and sought after speaker, she is known for her authenticity, her transparency, and her ability to transform any room that she steps into. A survivor of the 9/11 Pentagon attacks and a disabled Air Force veteran, Tamika's life is anchored in resilience, faith, and purpose. Tamika's words serve as a lifeline for women healing from fear, self doubt, and identity wounds. Her transformational book, which we are going to talk about today, all right? Obedience Over Perfection, which is scheduled to be released January of 2026, inspires women to rise, surrender, and step into who God called them to be. On stage and behind the mic, Tamika is captivating, relatable, powerful, and powerfully prophetic. As the host of the Unlock Her Next podcast and her coaching movements, she walks alongside women as they come out of hiding, reclaim their voice, and unlock the next chapter of destiny. A devoted wife, mom of two, and fur mom, Tamika is committed to helping women, marriages, and families heal, grow, and thrive. Y'all, when I tell you you're not ready for what you're about to experience, my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Y'all, help me get in this chat and help me welcome none other Miss Tamika, Mrs. Tameka Thompson. Let's go, y'all. Make sure y'all show up in this chat. Let her know that you were here. Want to make sure that she is here as well. So I am checking in the backstage. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Hey.
Hey, how are you?
Here.
Thank you so
um,
much for the introduction and for having me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Like
Yeah.
what I did not tell the folks is how much you have poured into me over the past almost 4 years. And when I mean just by your presence, being in a room virtually or in person, because I've had the pleasure of sharing space with you in person too, you
Yes.
have given so much. And then I know if you've poured into me the way that you have, I know that you have also poured into others. And so I want to open up the door because there's so much here that we could talk about, right?
Yeah.
I have a question for you to kind of kick things off a
You
little bit,
got a
right?
question
So
for me? Okay.
you have a question for you. So I told folks a little bit about how we met, right? How we
Yeah.
came together in a black business. space, and we were coming together to grow our businesses because we believed in the power of the work that we are doing. And I'm super emotional today, so watch. There might be tears before we even get started, right?
Listen,
We're
I
just
didn't
gonna
bring
go.
tissue. I didn't bring tissue. We
That's
can't
okay.
be
I didn't either. It's gonna be me and my fingers and the tears. Um,
okay.
there's a moment that there are several moments that mean so much to me. Um, the moment that you messaged me and said, "I need you to help me complete my book."
Oh.
Um, there are days where I'm like, should I keep going? Right. And then the universe is like, watch me show up for you in ways that you don't even realize. So when you hopped in my DMs and you're like, I'm ready, let's go, I need you. That is a moment that I hold on to when days get rough. So I would love for you to be able to explain to folks, right, what brought you to Bird's World and really what keeps you here and what made you choose us to help you in creating a movement with you with your message for your upcoming book, Obedience Over Perfection.
Yes. Thank you so much. Listen, Heather, listen, I feel like we go way back. Those long nights, early morning.
Woo! Them Wednesday night
And
calls,
right.
them
And
4-day
I
conferences.
right. And I feel like the preparation for just kind of getting us to where we are today. One of the reasons why I said that I needed you is because you bring so much to the table. Right. Thank you, number one, for creating the space that you created because it is a phenomenal community. And when we get to know each other, I feel like I know you more now. Like as
Mm.
many nights, as many hours, as many long days, and everything that we've spent together inside of that group. Shout out to the purple team for life,
Shout out to the royal ones.
right? We and there were times I think where there were tears, where we there was disappointment, there was discouragement, where we all were able to encourage one another. But you bring so much to the table with just your authenticity and who you are and how
Mm,
you bring community and how you bring people together. Like it was phenomenal. So I
mm,
knew you from just you being so genuine and really wanting to birth and make sure that you're doing, and your genius is out in the world. Like that's another thing. I think being in your community, I knew you were bomb, right? But it's like a whole level that I've been able to experience being inside of your community where I'm just like, why did I wait so long? Like, what was the thing that really, like, I knew I needed you. So, my husband and I have a book that's been out for about 5 years now. And so we've authored a book together. But this journey
mhm,
of me starting the process and doing it on my own as a solo author, I wanted to do something a little different, right? I was like, okay, I want to try to at least go through the process for real, for real. Not that the first part wasn't for real, but it was just like I felt like a big girl, right? I'm putting on my own panties, like I'm putting on my own clothes, like I'm getting dressed, I'm doing the thing, and I'm doing this
yeah,
like by myself. So it was important for me to have the space that was going to help me to navigate so that I don't lose my voice in the process
mm,
and that I also don't shrink.
mhm,
And seeing you show up time after time. I think because when we first started, you weren't showing up as much. But then seeing you show up, I was like, I need to be with Heather. Like I needed, not
mm,
only had I given you my word, when we were in the community, which is important to me, but I was just like, I need to be with Heather and her community because I just felt like there was something that you were going to pull from me that I
mm,
wasn't going to be able to get anywhere else. And being inside of your community, like like, and I'm not just saying this, y'all, just because she's my author coach, like for real. There is
mm,
a way that Heather is able to, number one, bring people together where you aren't judged, where you feel at home, where you feel community, where you feel loved. And it's almost like she safeguards your voice, but then she understands how to communicate with you to weave in the right pieces so that you don't lose your voice. But at the same time, it's like, but I understand what the industry needs and I understand what needs to go in this book. And oh, too, by the way, you need to add this and stop playing.
mm,
Like it's
mhm,
all those things. And I was just like, being in the community, I am able to see that. And I'm just like, this is exactly where I need to be. And even through your author feedback sessions, how you allow everybody to give the feedback, but then you're able to weave in the technical aspects that we never even thought about. Like for me, I was just like, oh no, I'll get an editor. And you were like, okay, well, what kind of editor? I was like, I don't know. I just need an editor. And you were like, well, it's important for you to understand what kind of editor. There are several different editors. And I was just like, I'm just writing a book. I don't know. So that's again where I lean into your genius, because you were able to allow me to see things that I never really thought about before or even
Mm,
considered, that has elevated the voice.
yeah.
So
I
thank
when I
you.
tell you your book, and if we could drop that link in the chat. I know I see E Rock and them is in the chat, and also some of the sister resistors are also here supporting it. So if someone has the link to be able to drop into
Hey,
the chat, I
sisters,
make
me
sure.
sisters.
I saw Catherine, I saw Jano. I wouldn't be shocked if Cassie is in here somewhere because the chat is blowing up. My goodness.
Oh,
I
and hey, boo, thank you so much for joining. That's
I
my
want to
baby
make sure
daddy.
people have the opportunity to get a copy of this book. It is currently on pre-sale. So I would love for you to be able to talk about this project. I will say from my experience, one, reading I'm sorry, reading the manuscript, and also having moments where I wanted to, in the best way lovingly possible, throw that manuscript across the floor because you were speaking to my entire soul. And I wasn't the only one that said that, right? So I've seen you speak life into me individually. I have seen you speak life into many. So for you to have this book and to be able to put it into the hands of more people so that they understand how they can really lean into their purpose and the ways in which you honor your story and your progress is absolutely amazing. So I just talk a little bit about like the book and where people can find it and all of the things, and then we'll hop into the real. Right? This is a part of it.
Okay,
We are celebrating
okay.
as we are celebrating the community and what we're doing.
Okay. So, obedience over perfection. This has been at least 20 years in the waiting.
Mm,
And I wrote this book almost as a love letter to every woman who's lost their voice, every woman who has felt unheard, who has felt like she hasn't been seen, who felt like she was not enough, who felt like she wasn't holy enough, that she wasn't good enough, that she wasn't pretty enough, that she wasn't perfect enough, that she wasn't the perfect size, the perfect weight. Like I wrote this book as a love letter specifically to her. And I wanted to remind her that although she might have lost her voice in the noise, I unapologetically am disrupting the table just for her. I'm pulling up a seat just with her name on it, and I'm giving her an opportunity, and I'm inviting her to the table so that she can find her voice, so that she can step into the purpose that God has placed in her life, imperfect, unfiltered, and unashamed. And it's here. I can like it's here.
it's
I'm so excited
here.
about it. It's
It's here.
it's
It's
here, and
here.
it took so much. I realized that even in finishing and doing some of the additional edits, that it took as long as it took, because I had to be the healed version of me writing
Mm,
this, because the
mhm.
broken, wounded version of me would not have been able to give so much of it would have done a disservice to myself and to others that were involved in the life and in what shaped me to be here. And so I think through
Yeah.
the being healed and walking that journey and really forgiving, like, oh
That
my
chapter.
God.
Oh, that chapter. Y'all better get ready. That chapter on forgiveness.
I think
Yeah.
everybody who's read it was just like, I threw the manuscript. Some people I think said they threw it and not just wanted to.
We physically across the room. We
Right.
went picked
And
it back up because we needed it. Nope, it was thrown across the
it
room.
was thrown. And it took me even up into writing the manuscript, right? I got to that chapter and it took me almost 3 months just to finish after getting like I
Mm.
couldn't even dive into it because I was like, wait a minute. Let me walk away. Let me come back. Let me check my heart posture. Let me make sure we really ready. So yes. Thank you. Yeah, it was a labor. It was a labor, and I'm
Yeah.
so glad to be able to put it out into the world. Again, just giving people an opportunity to know that
Mm,
they are not forgotten, and it's not too
yeah.
late.
Yes. You are
Yeah.
such a I thank you so much for all that you have done and all that you will do. If y'all have not gotten a copy or ordered a copy, pre-ordered a copy of Obedience Over Perfection, y'all make sure y'all get that. We'll make sure to put it in the show
Yes.
notes as well. Because, hooey, this.
Yes.
All right. So I know I like threw that at you potentially unexpectedly, but I
You
anytime
did.
anytime there's an opportunity to talk about this book, I want to create space for you because I wholeheartedly believe in what you are building and how much you have grown. And if anyone has not had the opportunity to meet you, I want to create that space so that they can get to know you even better. So wherever
Oh,
I go, you go. Wherever
thank
I'm not, your
you.
name will be in those rooms. So I had to throw that out there just a little bit for you. So I appreciate
Thank
you for leaning
you.
in.
And likewise, likewise. You are so amazing. I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
I do.
But
Even that, because that kind of segues into just the first question, right? So
okay.
what's the part of the writing or the publishing journey that no one really warned you about, but every
Mm,
author must be willing to face if they want to tell the truth, to finish the assignment and release the book and actually transform people's lives?
they have to be willing to face themselves.
Okay.
You talked a little bit about it already of being able to make sure that you were in um, the right heart space as you were writing it, right? And so making sure that you are on your own healing journey, which is what a lot of people do not talk about, which is why within Bird's world, our foundational pieces, we heal first, write second, and then build movements with our message third, all in service of our liberation, right? And so if you aren't able to show up on the page the way that you deserve to show up on the page, if you don't have a community of people around you who are able to hold you as you go through the process so that you're not by yourself, I think that that is something that not enough people talk about. We don't talk about the mindset pieces of being an author. Like we talk about, yes, I have the book and it's out there. And, I think mindset and marketing are the two things we don't talk about enough when it comes to writing a book. You're going to hit that mindset piece before the marketing does come around. And so we want to make sure that we are holding space for both of those. But the mindset piece is really important. So there are two different ways for me to interpret that question, right? There's a way to interpret that for um, authors who are coming up, and it doesn't matter whether you're writing your first book or your 50th book. The process of writing a book and the mindset pieces that are associated with it, they're the same. And sometimes they're heightened the more that you write the book, right? Because if you write a really great book the first time, and the pressure of writing a really great book the second time exists, right? And so it's like, well, how do I work through this? Sometimes you got to have people around you to remind you how dope you are, to keep you going, right? So yeah, that was the way that I interpreted the question. There's another way to interpret that question. I don't know if you were speaking about
Yeah, go
just me
ahead.
specific.
Well, you and your
Something
community. Yeah, and both.
for me specifically, in running the publishing company, I would say something that no one told me about as like the visionary and founder and CEO was it's the same, actually. How I need to get out of my own way. It's the same. It's just different material, but it's really me being able to get out of my own way. And people, some people have said it, right? Like in our business community, folks have talked about how you need to get out of your own way in order to grow. And I'm not necessarily thinking about it in the growth piece. I'm thinking about it in me being able to stand in my own light and be able to see myself the ways the way that other people also see me in that positive light. And so, yeah, it's the same answer. It's getting
Okay.
out of my way to run the business, and it's for authors also getting out of their own way and trusting themselves and surrendering to the process, that no one really talks about.
Yeah, and I love that too about the community because and when you said that you are in a space where you are being held, right? It's important that you are in a community and you are in a space where you can be held and held properly. Because when you
Yes.
aren't being held properly, it can do so much damage. And that's another thing that I love about Birdswell community and its sisters resisters, right? I'm still fairly new to the group, and
Mhm.
still learning everybody, but everybody is so amazing at just reminding everyone of who they are, especially because it's nothing like and I still like my heart still kind of palpitates a little bit. I remember when we met with the editor and I was just like, I'm about to be an author. And you're like, wait a minute, Tamika, you're already an author. I was like, no, but you don't understand. Like, this is like for real about to happen. And you're like, what are you talking about? And even inside of the community where the ladies, like, we were crying. What was that? Oh my gosh, what night was that?
Which, because I know you said crying, I was gonna say which night, because tears are
We were
releasing. They're
right. And so and we call it liquid gold. I have a coach, a mindset coach who calls it liquid gold. So the liquid gold was flowing. I cannot remember what night that was.
great.
It was last Thursday night, I think it was. Last Thursday. I think it was last
Right
Thursday.
after the
During the
call.
feedback
Yes,
session, yes. And even
yes.
during, like one of the authors, was again, as you mentioned, the mindset around just being able to embrace and
What?
remove what life has served us about what we thought of we had to do and how we had to perform and how we have to show up and do all these things, and just really standing and sitting and being our authentic self and embracing that, knowing that we are enough. Like it was such a
Yeah.
beautiful moment.
Oh, yep. I know exactly what moment you're talking about. And that was again during the feedback session. And so us needing to unpack and shed the things that no longer serve us again so that we can show up on the page and tell the story that needs to be told. We sure did. We There were tears during and after.
Yep.
That was
Yeah.
an impactful session. But yes,
I
what
love
happened?
it.
What
I
did you
love
say?
it.
Yeah.
Now, for you personally, and I think all my questions are good questions. I don't think I'm going to ask you anything
Yes, they
that's going to
are.
be like outside. But what haven't you done because of fear that you now need to give yourself permission to do?
You would. Oh man. Okay.
It's one of
And
those
this is why
midlife moments.
this I asked her to come to the podcast, Heather. You should have known. You should have known. Repeat the question one more time because I felt it in my body before I fully registered what you said. So I need you to repeat it again.
So, what haven't you done because of fear that you now need to give yourself permission to do?
Yep, these are where the tears fall. Ask for help. Ask for um it's less for ask for help. It is more let people know what I'm doing, to be
Okay.
honest. And there's there's context behind that, right? So I worked at a place for 10 years. And one of the things that I am realizing by working in that place is that I shrunk tremendously.
Mm,
I allowed myself to get absorbed into someone else's dream of what they were building and someone else's expectation of who they thought I was. Um, they wanted to put me in a box, and there's no part of me that has ever belonged in a box, but I allowed myself to be put in that box to be in this community because I believed in the work that was being done. And I still believe in the work that's being done, right? However, I shouldn't have had to shrink to be in that space. And I'm
mm,
learning how to give
that's good.
myself grace for making that decision because the decision was mine to do that, right? And so because I shrunk, And I have now moved into this new chapter in my life where I am literally building a dream that I had and vocalized when I was 18 and sitting in my mentor's office where we were literally picking out down to the couch color cushions, and having the registers noise in the background because Love Jones was popular back then. So we were going to have the open mics and the bookstore and the publishing. Like we were going to have it all. And I remember sitting in Big Brother Ken's office and having this dream, but I allowed myself to shrink. And with that shrinking, I have not been as vocal about what I have built. I've also not allowed to see myself in the light that I have created. Um, and so I am learning how to, again, get out of my own way and let folks know what I am building without the fear of a made up story that's actually in my mind, because every time I tell someone what I do, they are supportive, they are there, but there is still a a script that's going on in my mind that tells me differently because of the role that I played in my last job. So, yeah, it's really about me being able to open my mouth and let folks know this is what I'm building, right? And this is how it's transformed lives. And not be worried about what people will think about it, even though I know none of the people that I will tell will have that reaction. So hopefully that makes sense. But that is a current obstacle that I am working my way through, and something that this group has allowed for me to work through with care. But I need to get out of my own way.
Sweet, sweet. How can I support you in that space?
Oof. And that's okay. So, can we be real with the real? I think I've told you this before. I don't know, but we're gonna be real here, right? There are
Real,
no
real. We're gonna be
crafted
real,
answers.
we're gonna be raw, we're gonna be uncut.
We're gonna be
Right?
oh, when I hear that question, there's a part of me that freezes up because I feel
Okay.
like I have to give the right answer. And it has to be the perfect answer when someone asks me, how can I help you with that? And so my brain goes into a scramble and then can't find any answer to give someone. I literally had someone text me that this morning and I haven't responded yet because I don't know what to say.
Right. Okay. Okay. And but that's so good because you know how many of us have that same challenge, right?
Hmm.
Just around life, around who we're becoming, around everything. And so I think sometimes the pressure is that we always have to have the right answer. And that's
Yeah.
another reason why, like, this book is so important to me. So yeah, listen, some of the church folk gonna kick me out the church once this book is released. I'm okay with that. But but it had to come because again, the way life has served us is we feel like we have to do certain things and be certain things and say certain things the right way and have all the right answers and do all the right things and be, in this cookie cutter position. And to be honest, like we were never created to be that way. Each
Mhm.
one of us has our own unique blueprint and fingerprint, and it's important for us to be able to just step out of the box, right?
Yeah.
And just shine and be okay and giving ourselves permission to be unique, to be different, to be peculiar, to be all the things that God really has created for us to be, and own it and know that we're enough in that space. And so it's okay to say, that's a great question, but I don't really know right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Or allow myself to say, I don't know. Well, one, question whether or not I really don't know, or is it that if there's fear that's there, right? So I think there's a questioning that needs to take place. And also,
So what
instead
is
of
the
always
fear?
to have, pardon me?
Go ahead, go ahead. I'm gonna come back to it. I'm gonna write
Oh,
it
I was gonna
down.
say, instead of always feeling like I need to have the answer, opening the door for us to have conversation where brainstorming can take place, right? Like
Mm,
again, it goes back
yeah.
to individualism versus collective collective advancement, right? And so I could say I don't know, but I would love to be able to brainstorm and talk about it, right? Um, Even as you asked that question, my brain had an inkling of, well, what does it look like to be put in front of other people's audiences, so that I can demonstrate or run a workshop and demonstrate how I work and experience what Bird's world looks like, right?
Right.
Um, it took me time to get there. Yeah,
But that's okay. And
yeah.
even in your genius, like that is okay. Because even when
Mhm,
you mentioned that, is it that you don't know or is it a fear? So what would be the
mhm.
fear around it?
I think the fear would be in, appearing as if I don't know, right?
That's good. That's
Appearing as
good.
if I don't know, which when and I know this about it's a false narrative because I know this about myself. When I don't know, I say I don't know, usually, right? As except when
Mhm.
it comes to asking for things, working through that, right? Learning how to receive. Um, there's also
That's
a piece of
good.
me that tells me if I don't know, I will figure it out. My figure it out muscle
Mm.
is strong. So let's figure it out together. I can do that for other people. Sometimes we need to be your own client. It doesn't always show up that way, right? And so it takes other people to help you get outside of your own head in order to move forward.
Yeah. And that's another thing
Yeah.
that I love about Bird's World Publishing. Like you all like I say you all like I'm not a part of the community, but we all like
Okay, wait a
but
minute. I was gonna let you finish and be like, you know, to
but
lean in, you gonna have
but
all the sisters leaning in, like, did she just say what I
right.
said?
But the Sisters Re Sisters, like we really do an amazing job at doing that. And it's okay to not have all the answers. It's okay to not have it all figured out. But as we're working through it, we realize that it's already in you, right? The
Mhm.
genius is
Yeah,
already in you. All you have all the answers already inside of you. It's just a matter of being able to get through the noise and get through the undercuts and the rifts and the currents of what life has served us and the perception of other people and their thoughts and maybe even sometimes disappointments because maybe I
yeah,
said this before or I leaned in and this person disappointed me or maybe I'm not willing to give up the control or to delegate because I just don't know if I can trust you with my baby.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
It's
so that's what I love too about the community. It's so phenomenal to help us to kind of get through and, get to the resolve. Because, yeah, you're
yeah,
amazing. So it's okay
yeah,
for you to say, hey, let me think through this really quick.
yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
actively do it without having that pressure like that's on me. So right, I release. I wrote. I give myself permission. Was the sentence stem that I offered folks in our open house last week, and so I give myself permission, right, to release the idea of having to know it all. Like it just
Yeah.
needs to be said out loud. So thank you. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then what's one season in your life that felt kind of random, or maybe it was painful, but looking back on it, you realize that you needed that season because it actually shaped who you become today?
You saw that season.
I did.
So back in 2022, midway through, life began to just flip upside down. And that lasted for, my goodness, I'd say like 2 years. 2 good years, right? And so when I look back on those moments and think about the lessons that occurred during that time, one of the lessons that have has most recently come up for me is where I am today wouldn't have been possible if I would have stayed where I was. And
That's
so I
good.
needed to be moved out of situations. People needed to be removed out of my life so that I can make my dreams come true. I needed to learn how to be a bit more flexible, right? Because I was very type A before I became the guardian of my nephew for 18 months, right? And there's something about having a kid that just throws that all out the door. Um, And so learning how to go with the flow, um and allowing yourself to create from a space of knowing versus create from a space of like, I don't know, like creating from a different space. I don't know what that space is. But you saw me in that time, where everything shifted for me. And I also learned, so going back to the other point of the story that I'm telling myself that is not real, I also learned that my community is strong, because the reason I was able to get back to Chicago, the reason I was able to continue living where I was at the time for 6 months while my nephew finished school is because people were like, "What do you need? I got you." And I had to just shed all, I didn't have space to hold on to any fear. Like there wasn't, I just had to put myself out there and hope for the best. So that chapter actually birthed a lot for me, right? It birthed morning pages, which is going into its third year of running, right? I realized looking back that yes, I built that space because my clients separately were um, having trouble with like being able to execute on the tasks that were given, and really needed community to come together. I also believe that I needed that space to continue going because I was hanging on by less than a thread. And so I believe that that space also saved me. I didn't create it because of that. However, I trusted what I was seeing in front of me and allowed myself to answer that call. So you saw it and you were part of it. You part of the reason why this exists as well, my dear. Like I was sitting at the table and brainstorming with you about how these levels could exist within Bird's world, and here we are now.
Yeah, and I'm so proud of you. Like, I mean, so proud of you and how you're
Thank
managing it. And you're like, you've built such a strong, amazing team.
you.
Like, it really is. It's
I
gold.
wouldn't I wouldn't have found that if it wasn't for that. Not in this way, I don't believe. If it wasn't for that time that you were like, when did things shift for you?
Right.
That's what it did. Hmm.
Right. And I'm so glad they did, just because, again, I think there's a part of the becoming, and you mentioned something, and Catherine even mentioned it in the comments. She said that it's creating a space of knowing, versus a space of lack, which is so important because even in that space of knowing, there is, it's like a faith, it's a belief, it's a, I don't know what's taking place versus, the lack is the fear and the I don't know if I'm gonna make it out. And I'm sure many of us in life, especially me, I know that we have had some moments in life like God ain't gonna make this one. But to be
Hmm.
able to create a space of knowing is so important.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that.
Thank
Thank you for
you for
sharing
asking.
that.
Look here, I have not been in the. Usually, I am very. I can multitask and be in the comments and shout people out and do all these things. I promise y'all, I will go back and respond. But when I tell y'all, being here in this moment with Tamika requires me to be fully present and fully analyze what I need from my next. Like I'm just not realizing it's been 43 minutes and I have looked at this chat maybe twice because I've been here with you. You you
Oh,
are
thank
you are
you.
my goodness.
Thank you. Listen, you are just as amazing. And like I said, I thank you so much for creating this space and even allowing me to be here. I don't take it for granted. Thank you
Mm,
for having me a part of your community because I understand, with Eric and I building Marriage Takeover, there are some people can't be in the membership.
mhm.
So I
Yeah.
understand, the care, the love, what you do just to make sure that the atmosphere is always right. So thank you for allowing me to be in your space and in your world to see your
Mm,
genius.
mm.
Yeah, it's an
I
honor.
received I received that.
Yeah, it's an honor. It is an
I'm glad.
honor. I wanted to
So
see. Go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna see you got one more thing that's gonna take my breath away. Let me hold on, let me get the sip of water.
Um,
I'm not sure if you
listen, Joan said, Dr. Tamika's questions require you to be fully present. Love
look,
it.
facts on facts. Wait, where to go? There it goes.
Listen,
The wrong one. Fully present.
I love you, Joan.
Fully present. There's
Listen,
no lie. This chat, y'all have been going crazy.
and I
Um,
love it. I love it. I love it.
my word.
I
My
love
word.
it. I what is one thing that you know now that you could have told to your younger self
Hmm.
that you would have been able to hold the hand of young Heather and walk her through a moment or a journey to say you're going to be okay? What was that
Mm.
thing that you would go back to tell her now?
It would be, this is going to sound strange, but it would be that you were right all along. And what I mean by that is, I believe when we are younger, we are able to dream up a life for ourselves that when people hear about it, when we get older, they talk you out of it. And so you end up straying away from a dream that you had because someone told you it wasn't possible. And I
Mm,
held on to my dream until I turned around 26. And then I allowed for the spaces I was in to alter what I was doing. And so when I say I would go back, who I am now, go back to the little girl and hold her hand and tell her that you were right about this dream. Because it took me years to understand that what I dreamt was possible and get everyone else out of my mind who told me it wasn't possible. Even though I like, up until a certain point, I was like, I don't care what you say. At some point, I just made the decision to like I said, shrink, or believe what other people's restraints of who I was their limitations, not mine. So I would tell her that you were right and that it's possible and to keep going. Took me a while to get back to her, but we're here.
I love it. And I'm so glad
Yeah.
you're here. I love it. I love it.
Thank, thank
I
you.
love it. You are
I
so
have one last
welcome.
question for you
Yes. Yes, yes,
to close
yes.
up. So one of the things that I mentioned at the top is like we are remembering who we were, and I love that question that you asked me in terms of being able to go back and tell myself what I needed to hear. My question for you is, what are you returning to right now,
What am I returning to? Oh, man.
or who are you returning to? Right?
Oh, man. I believe that I am returning to the most authentic version of who Tamika is, and I'm loving it. Like, I am you mentioned shrinking earlier, and I think for a long time, I've shrunk because, again, in writing and birthing the book, there was so much that I had to go through and so much that I had to heal from, is because I didn't think I was enough. Like, there
Yeah.
were times I remembered being in the church, on the praise and worship team, and wanting to commit suicide.
Mm.
And because I never thought that I was holy enough. I never thought that
Mm.
I would ever be enough. I never thought that just watching and seeing and hearing everybody and hearing how they prayed, hearing how they showed up, seeing how perfect their life looked on the outside, and me looking at my life in shambles and like, what the heck is going on? And who am I? And God, is this really a thing? And God, are you real? Are you here? Are you present? Is this all that there is to life? Is this all that there is to church? Like what is really going on? Like this, if this is the real for real, then I want it.
Yeah.
And having an encounter and having a moment to say like, wait a minute, Tamika, like I mean, all of my life I didn't realize what dimples were until I was like almost I was an adult in the military. I was just like, everybody would always talk about my smile, but I had crooked teeth and I had different things. And I was just like, dimples, like, what are those? And I couldn't even appreciate them until I started to love every flaw of who I am, like all of
Mm,
me. And
mm,
the shrinking was real for my life. Not thinking that I could talk well enough, not thinking that, I'm short. So I always say I'm vertically challenged, but not thinking that I was tall enough. Like they're all the things that make us feel like we are inadequate, that I'm not educated enough. And finally being able to get to that little girl who was she just
mm,
didn't care. She laughed, she cried, she talked to people, she talked to strangers, she did all the things. I was telling somebody today as I was sharing the podcast with them, she listened to the Unlock Her Next podcast and she was just like, "Oh my God, I love it." She was like, "And you have such an amazing speaking voice." And for so long I've hated my voice. But it's crazy because in high school, like I
oh,
wanted to be a journalist.
mm,
And I'm just like, it's full circle now where I'm really embracing the youngest, rawest version and most authentic version of who I am unapologetically.
mm.
Yeah. So
Oh,
and the only reason why I'm drinking, so y'all, my coach got me on this. I'm on a challenge to make sure that I release a certain amount of weight before my book release in the women's conference because that's what I decided to do for myself as a goal. So water is my friend until January 24th. Once that book releases, I'm popping a brand new bottle of red sweet wine to
celebrate.
celebrate. Right.
Hey.
But
Oh,
yeah, the most
yeah,
authentic version of who I was. Yeah. Before
yeah.
life got a hold of me.
I feel
Yeah.
like we're all getting back to that space. And I am so honored to be in this space with you. I am so glad that you have had the opportunity to see what I've been building for the past 3.5, 4 years, right? And now I get a chance to see you, and like we've seen our light from a distance and kind of been in it, but like we're now getting a different level of experience with each other. I am so proud of you. I am so
Oh.
proud of you. If you
Thank you.
do not rush to go pre-order your copy of Obedience Over Perfection. When I tell you I have read this manuscript, and my word, it's going to change your life. And it doesn't stop with the manuscript. Here in Bird's World, our messages build movements. Tamika is building a movement. And as y'all can see, the work and the questions and the way in which she digs, it's real. It is raw. It is uncut. You know what I'm saying? Like it's needed. It is needed for you to literally unlock your next. So thank you so much, Tamika, for being here. I'm gonna have
Thank
to go back and
you.
check out these comments because you had me here. You had me present, and this is only a snippet of what you offer to others. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for saying yes to all of the things, to joining me here on this podcast, to joining our community, to saying yes and trusting me with your book project. It means the absolute world to me. And for those of you all who are out there, if you are interested in being able to start your book project. If you are interested in learning more about Bird's World, if you know you have a story that has been inside of you, maybe even 3 to 4 stories that exist within you, and you are looking for guidance, Bird's World is a space where collectively we come together to help you birth your book. You are not in this alone. And so I would love to be able to invite you to our next open house that we have, which is next Tuesday at 6 o'clock. I will make sure to drop that link in the chat. Actually, I have the link right here. Ha ha.
Yes.
Ha. Look at me. So make sure you all have the opportunity to check out Bird's World. Again, it's a space for us to be able to come together, meet other writers, and write yourself so that you can actually experience what it was like to be in community and write with other people. So we will be having our open house next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Central Time. It is virtual, so you can roll over after work and decompress and see what this is like, and meet others along this journey. So feel free to check that out. I will also make sure to drop all of the links in the chat, in the show notes. I mean, for Tamika's book, make sure you get a copy of that book. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for being here.
Thank
Thank
you so much for having me. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Again, I to say that I appreciate you, I love you, I don't think is doing it justice. I really do
you.
want you to know that I so appreciate you. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for again taking me in, bringing me into your community, creating such a great space, and also
Mm.
allowing me really to trust my voice. So thank you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'm so warm. All right,
Thank you.
y'all.
And
Until next
can I do
time.
can I do
Yes,
one more thing too? I see some people in the
absolutely.
marriage takeover community that's here. So Varangian,
Yes,
thank you so much for showing up. I so want to appreciate
let's
you
go.
because she's from the marriage takeover community. And I see the Reese sisters, the sisters, Reese sisters. So thank you all so much. And my baby daddy, I love you so much. Thank you so much for joining. I so appreciate you. Thank you guys. So you could have been anywhere else. So thank you all so much for tuning in tonight.
You really could have. My goodness. Like I said, I will go back in this chat and acknowledge every single one of y'all. Tamika had me here. So I appreciate y'all.
Oh, and
Well, Pam.
Pam. She's got a
Okay.
different the notary spot. I didn't recognize it. And Pam, thank you so
Me
much.
too,
I
Pam.
love you. Yes.
It's like,
The
you're so
marriage
welcome,
takeover
sis.
community.
I love this. I love this. Oh, well, thank you so much for sharing this space. And for all of y'all who are joined, thank y'all again. And until next time, make sure y'all keep reading, keep writing,